Hello everybody, Pete Delete here again. I'm in a beautiful old Pahudakawa tree, getting back to my childhood pursuit of climbing trees barefoot. I'm loving it. I'm in Tairua, New Zealand, the place where my children were born and grew up, and I'm so pleased that they were. Got them out of London, and I actually had a dream that showed me that I foretold that I'd be here, and I forgot all about the dream. But 5 years later, I looked up on my house from a boat out at sea, and I remembered the dream. It was exactly what I'd seen in the dream. But today I want to talk about a bit of traffic noise. Never mind, that never used to be here when I moved here 35 years ago, but like everywhere it's got busier. Never mind, still trees. So 10, 12 years ago I had a dream, and in the dream I was told to go to Auckland Airport and buy a laptop, and there was other things as well, but that was the core, and it gave me a time and date to be there. Woke up, told my wife, and then she was very much with me, and she took me to the airport. She produced money that I didn't know we had, but and sent me on my way, and didn't know what it was about, didn't need to know, I just knew that I had to go, and got to the airport. Long story, and we can talk about that another day hopefully, but I got as far as New York, and I ended up in a bar, and I was just in deep meditation everywhere I went, and suddenly these words just sort of floated down onto this sort of soft cloud of my brain, and so I got my laptop and started writing. And I'd never written anything of consequence in my life. You know, I left school thinking I was dyslexic and my words weren't good enough, and you know, that old drama, same old bullshit. And but anyway, today I'm in Tairua here. I met an old friend of mine, Computer John, that is setting up my laptop for me, my tablet thingy, so I can get my blog and everything up and running, which you'll see me on this I suppose. That's how the internet works, isn't it? I think. And he showed me all his treasures that he found with his metal detector. And I come across this it was a tree of life, a little silver charm bracelet thing or something. And he wanted to give it to me, so I accepted because it's beautiful. But it triggered a thought, and I think it's probably time that I come to getting back to the bar in New York. The first writing that came through me was called The Tree of Life, and it stunned me. And so, you know, I'd like to read it for you now, and it's a bit of a juggling act because I am up a tree, but let's give it a go. It goes like this. I apologise if I'm not giving you full eye contact. It doesn't mean I'm not focused on you, because I am. It's all about you. It's called The Tree of Life, and it came and there was a picture that went with it, and I've since lost that, but never mind. So it's called The Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, or Tree of Knowledge, is a recurrent theme in writings and scriptures throughout antiquity, and has to this point, as far as we're aware, only ever existed in myth and legend. You now hold before you what archaeologists and historians have been searching for as long as there have been archaeologists and historians. Here for you now the rules you need to play the game of the Tree of Life. As you can see, every leaf is a letter, symbol or number. The leaves are the basis for every word that ever existed on this planet, in this dimension, and in dimensions that many know to exist but few get to witness. Perhaps now you might begin to understand the enormity of the power of this tree. Every word ever spoken is derived of this tree. Every law or instruction ever written is from this tree. Every sound or musical note is born of this tree. Mathematical equation or genetic sequence, this tree. The chemical and biological formulas that made perfect conditions for life to be on this planet are growing within this tree. Every word ever spoken, every ancient text, every word in supercomputers would not exist if it were not for this tree. For computers work in pixels, and pixels are dots. There are lots of dots in this tree. The Tree of Life, the Tree of Knowledge. They are one, they are the same. You may at this point begin to doubt that every letter, number or symbol is in this tree. You may look for an obscure number or letter, perhaps from some ancient writing or local dialect. Do not forget that you're only seeing a one-dimensional rendering of this tree. What you cannot print on paper is the backside of this tree, nor the scale, nor indeed what lies within its canopy. Please I urge you, do not waste energy doubting. There are already enough doubters on this earth that are not privy, in this life at least, to the power of this monolith. Their time will come. Please also be aware that this tree is a living entity, nourished by divine insight and watered from the fountain of youth. Its fruit is our fruit, the fruit of human endeavour. As this tree grows, so man's comprehension, knowledge and understanding grows with it. That which was beyond human comprehension a few generations ago is now taken for granted. Electricity, flight and space travel, for example. Subjects that baffle man today, such as the power of the universe and life after death, will become apparent as the tree of knowledge grows. And grow it most certainly will. So now once again, let us reflect on the enormity and beauty of this tree. But let us not forget the simplicity also, for it is simplicity itself. Simple individual leaves. Each leaf on its own has little or no meaning. Once the leaves fall to the ground and are gathered, they become available. Hang on a sec. Clean onto this tree. They become available for man's endeavours. Those not gathered decompose back into the soil to fertilise the next generation of leaves. What man does with these leaves is his choice. Some may choose to string them together for a simple message of love. Those same leaves may be used for a declaration of war. Please remember, both of these are made from the same leaves, beautiful leaves from the almighty tree of life. The leaves may also be assembled for an inspirational speech in a church or to incite hatred at a political rally. They are the same leaves. You may be at this political rally and hear these words of hatred and act on them. Or you may instead choose to hear these words for what they really are, leaves, divine leaves from the tree, the beautiful, magnificent tree of life. You may also choose to use these same leaves to write your own speech, to soothe the anger of the other participants at this rally. But perhaps it might be simpler to use your newfound knowledge at a much simpler level. The next time somebody shouts at you in anger, instead of taking offence or retaliating, listen to the words for what they really are. Leaves from the beautiful tree of life. They cannot hurt nor harm. How can they? They are but leaves. The next time you receive an overdue notice or an unpaid account, you could worry and stress, or simply see it for what it is. A series of beautiful leaves. To the best of my knowledge, worry and stress has never paid a single bill. Worry and stress does, however, make you early for the only appointment in life that you must be on time for, your death. Abuse from an angry driver or letter from a vindictive lawyer, words on a work assignment that has to be finished by the morning, has no power over you. How can they? They are only leaves. Beautiful leaves, leaves from the tree of life. Eternal life, life now without stress or argument, anger or retribution. All of these are just beautiful leaves. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, in case you've not realised, every thought you ever had, happy, sad, worry or rejoice, all made up of these self-same leaves. Those doubts and phobias that people think rule their lives, they may seem so powerful and deeply entrenched. How can these be leaves? Ask yourself where these fears come from. Has the man with such a morbid fear of flying ever been harmed by flying? I doubt it. More likely he may have read or heard words as a child that sowed a seed. The words he heard we now know to be leaves. That seed has been fed by more words, more decomposing leaves. See how controlling it can become. If you have such a pile of leaves controlling your life, surely it is time to remove the pile of decaying leaves before it stifles you completely. The space in your head that has been vacated now may be filled with constructive leaves. Maybe the man who had a phobia of flying can fill the void with plans from books of journeys and adventures. Surely this is a better use of leaves, the self-same leaves, leaves from the tree of life. Listen to that song and singing in your head, or the worry and nagging doubt. Can you hear them? They are but words. The genius with his head. Hang on, another page, almost done. Talk amongst yourselves. You can hear them, they are but words. The genius with his head full of leaves. If there is chaos, it is labelled insanity. It's the same amount of leaves for genius or insanity. the order has just been lost. If they are not the thoughts that you wish, if they are negative or angry, or if there's simply too much chatter, cast out the leaves that are uncomfortable, that you are uncomfortable with. Let them fall to the ground and decompose, so that they may nourish the tree. When your mind goes quiet, possibly for the first time since birth, you'll be able to listen to your heart. Your heart is never wrong, has never been wrong. You just forgot how to listen when it was wrong. So I'll go back. When your mind goes quiet, possibly for the first time since birth, you'll be able to listen to your heart. Your heart is never wrong, has never been wrong. You just forgot how to listen when it was covered with leaves that somebody else placed there. You should listen to it more often. You can now go back to the tree to pick your own leaves, not the leaves that your parents picked for you, not those of your colleagues, lovers or peers, your leaves. Then you place them thoughtfully in the order of your choice. So perhaps for the first time they are truly your words, your thoughts, your leaves. Leaves from the tree of life. Now you know the rules, you can play the game, and you can observe those that do not know the rules. I know whose game I would rather play, and I know whose game it is. And that came to me on the 28th of June 2007. And it was the first thing I wrote, and the first writing, they just poured through me. And the first was allegory and instructions, and then slowly they morphed into poetry, and so was born Pete the Poet. When that was written, I couldn't believe what I was reading, and I wanted to tell somebody, but I didn't. Not in New York. You don't talk about stuff in New York. But I've learned to overcome my fears and phobias from negative schooling and be that poet and take ownership of these words. You know, I know where they come from. I don't know where they're going. I hope they're going onto some understanding ears. If not, I'm sure you would have switched off long before now. So I'll get down from my tree and talk to you tomorrow, I hope. Look forward to meeting you. Love you, bye.